Yes, people, welcome back. We are here. Lead Judges TV is back. Apologies for being late. It is all my fault. My stream overrun. But I brought everybody back over here. So hopefully we'll get some people from last stream. And we will be here to talk all things Arsenal, West Ham. Big up to both of the guests tonight. Obviously, it's myself and Lead Judges. Dan Lawless has come over from West Ham Fan TV. Lawless, what are you telling me? You good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Good. Getting ready for the weekend. Getting ready for the big game.
Yeah, man. You're
ready to take the treble.
He's been giving it large already, Dan. He's been giving it large already, like, you know what I mean? So if they had a green room there, it'd be a bloody claret and blue room, like, you know what I mean? Out of order.
Definitely.
Absolutely, man. And big up. Listen, he's back in the house. He's been on this channel before, but it's been a while. Paolo, what are you telling me, my bro? How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm very, very well. Great to see your faces again, albeit from about 20,000 kilometres away. But 5:15 a.m. here in the morning in Melbourne in our studios. So this is commitment to the cause. I'll give you the tip.
Yeah, 100, man. Big up for coming on. Much appreciate the commitment, mate. And it's great to see your face. It's great to hear your voice, man. So, yeah, it's been a while.
Sexy voice, isn't he, Dan? Sexy voice.
He has, man. It's that accent, man. It's that accent for sure.
Voice and a head for radio, I think.
Must be, man. Must be with what you do. But no, thank you both for coming on so much, man. Let's throw it over to Lawless first of all. You have beaten Arsenal in the cup and at the Emirates, and you're going to try and make it 3 in a row. Are you confident going into this game?
Look, I have no reason. It's a weird one. I don't know how to feel because the way we've been playing, obviously, the last time we won was against Arsenal. So, which was in December. So, could be the right time to play Arsenal and get that win.
Yeah.
I don't see why Arsenal fans are confident. I'm not saying I'm massively confident, but I'm seeing 4-0s and 4-1s in the chats. It's like you've had the old Men in Black memory wipe or something, because this is what I was hearing before our last fixture. And after we done you at your ground, surely you'd be coming into this game thinking, they've done us 2 times this season. I don't know how I feel going into this one. Like, it's at our ground. We need to win. I think that's a big reason as well why I'm feeling kind of confident. I'm 50-50 at the end of it, but we need to win this game. There's no excuses. Not a draw. We need a win. We need to beat Arsenal. So do it.
Well, listen, it's interesting. I was down at your ground earlier. They have TV boys filming, and Nicky was there, and he's like, 2-2, I think. He doesn't see him losing either. But West Ham haven't won a game in 2024. It's not been good form at the moment. West Ham have got some players back now, however, which we'll come on to in a minute in terms of team news. But, Paolo, how do you see this one going, man? We need to win this game and get some revenge from this lot because it's been a horrible last couple of games, man.
We do. I think it's one of those ones where I think our fan base is going in pretty confident just because of the way we played against them at the Emirates last time. I think it was one of those anomalies. You have nearly 30 shots on goal. You dominate possession. It was just at the bookends where we buggered up. And can you fix that? I think so. And we come into this game with a lot of momentum now. So I would suggest that that's probably the reason we go in pretty confidently. And I mean, if you were to wind back a game like that and put that on replay, I think 8 or 9 times out of 10, if that game occurs as it does again in the future, I think 8 to 9 times out of 10, we probably win that game at the Emirates. It was just one of those nights where we just couldn't finish the business. And it happens. That's football, gents. It happens. So I
disagree because I think it's that low blocks are your kryptonite. You struggle to break teams down. And really, when you look at the shots, you had 30 shots. Most of them were just hitting hopes from outside the box because we was limiting you when it comes to clear-cut chances. And we've seen it in a few other results this season. And you went on a bad run yourselves of not winning games. I think we are getting joy against Arsenal this season because of how Moyes plays and your struggle to break down teams like a Moyes team.
Maybe. I think we had, how many clear-cut chances did we have? Probably 5 or 6 in that game that we probably should have buried, but maybe it is our kryptonite, the low block. But I just think the way that we play is just, we do dominate opposition with regards to the way we have possession and the way we limit opportunities. And for me, I think the game was just an anomaly. That's how I'm seeing it. I think we're the superior team, to be honest, albeit West Ham does have a threat up front, no doubt about it, but you can't play that many times against an opposition like Arsenal and expect to continually get away with results. I can't see it happening 3 times. The League Cup game, I don't even worry about it, to be honest. I'm not too fussed. We're here to win, get a roll on with Premier League and Champions League, as much as those competitions are important. But
you're going to win the Premier League and Champions. You can throw away cups, because this is what we're saying. The judges, I remember you here last season. You said it yourself. We can't keep throwing away cups. But you think you're going to win if you're going to win the big ones, yeah. But if you don't win them, then you've thrown away a cup. Then what you're saying?
It's a fair point. I think, look, for us, I don't think that League Cup match meant as much to us as it did to West Ham. I think West Ham were clearly up for that game, and I think we'll be up for this game as well. So I don't know. I'm supremely confident, just given the way we've been able to. I think Arsenal's only had one bad game this season against Fulham. Outside of that, it's just been finishing, and you can work on that. I think there's no real major surgery that Arsenal needs to have coming into this game. I wouldn't have thought anyway.
Listen, it's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be a tighter one than people get. I actually agree with Lawless. I don't know where people are getting 5s and 4-0s from. I don't think that's going to be that. I mean, I hope it is, but I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be difficult. I think it'll be knocking on the door. David Moyes has had Mikel Arteta's number, Lee, for the last few games, to be fair, in terms of the low block. And I think it'll be a tight one again. I'm confident that we'll get the job done, and we'll come to predictions a bit later on in terms of score. But do you think this will be a similar setup to the last game, Lee?
I think it'd be very similar to the way West Ham played Arsenal over the last few games. They sit in a low block. I agree with Lawless. It is our kryptonite. They will sit in there. They frustrate us. They make the game as slow as it possibly can. And what West Ham have done over the last couple of games is hit us on the break. Listen, and beat us convincingly. Listen, the League Cup game, by the way, they beat us convincingly. I don't care whether you say you won it or not. They done us. They done a number on us. We was totally not in the game. I know that we might, clutching at straws here. We might have had a foul if it was VAR for the first goal, but other than that, they was far too better than us on the day. And I didn't like that, if I'll be honest, that a team wanted it more than us. You know what I mean? There was enough players on show to really show it there. If Mikel didn't really want it, was he bringing on the likes of Rice at half-time? Or, we was 3-0 down then when he started bringing on players to make it look respectable. And listen, in the cup game, I think that, if I'll be honest, the way Moyes set up in that game there, I think other teams have looked at that and said, this is a way that you can beat Arsenal, and I think that they'll do the same. I think where West Ham fans will accept it against an Arsenal side coming there on that, where they sit in their low block and all that. I watched the highlights of the game against was it Bournemouth, and I think West Ham fans, and Lawless could probably be more comment than me about it, would want them to be on the front foot a lot more in a game like that than what they would be on Sunday. But what I would say about Bournemouth is that when they went at West Ham, that they got something out of it. Like I'm surprised that West Ham have not won since they won at Arsenal. That shocked me. That has, because what I will say about West Ham in that game against us at the Emirates, they had 3 chances that game, took 2 of them, and they took their chances, and so you can't knock it. And for that reason, they deserve to beat us. I think this is going to be a tough game for them. I really do. As I said, Dan, I said to you before the Liverpool game, and I'll say it now, I was more confident of beating Liverpool than I am West Ham, and I'm with you on it. Very surprised that a lot of Arsenal fans are thinking 3 or 4-1. I do agree with Paulo there, where they're saying maybe they're getting that confidence from the way we played against Liverpool. But listen, that'd be a totally different game, because Liverpool they come at us and opened up against us. West Ham will not do that. They might do it when they're 1-0 down, if that's the case. But I think at 0-0, 10 minutes to go, that's where we could be our most vulnerable, because I think, I know Lawless is saying there it's a must-win game for West Ham. It's a must-win game for Arsenal more. For as far as the title ambitions are concerned, I think that West Ham would still be 6th or 7th. I think that West Ham, if like at the end of the season, come the end of the season, if they're in the Europa League spots, they'd be quite pleased with that. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough game. Listen, if Arsenal come out like they did and open them up and are quick and we're starting doing what we're doing, I've seen in that game, then it might be different. But I honestly think it'd be a bit of a cat and mouse game, if I'll be honest. And that suits West Ham more than it does us, if I'll be honest.
Yeah, man. Listen, let's get this over with early because I want to ask your two opinions on this. Me and Lawless have been going at it on my channel for a while about this, and Lawless stands by this, and he thinks that West Ham have got a better front three than Arsenal, right? Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudus. So I want to ask the chat. I want to ask Paolo. I want to ask Lee, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus, or Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudus.
Is he having a laugh? Is he having a laugh?
I
love Lawless, but you ain't been on the drink again, surely. Like, you know, let's get you down to A&A quickly as we can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
But did everyone on the channel, right, that wasn't a West Ham and Arsenal fan, not agree with me? Everyone, Liverpool fan.
Let me just clarify what they did agree, what they did say, because I knew you were going to shout this straight up, right? What they said was on form.
Yes.
Kudus and Bowen were, and this was at the time. Even the last few games, actually, Kudus has been in the AFCON, and Bowen has been missing a couple of chances. Paqueta has been injured, right? But at the time, this was when West Ham were flying, and all the front three were quality. On form, I actually agreed, but I ain't having the three of them over Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. I love Kudus, I love Paqueta, and I think Bowen is very underrated and underappreciated. But Bowen ain't better than Saka, in my opinion. Kudus ain't better than Saka. Paqueta, I don't think is better than Martinelli in terms of the left winger. I don't see that. I think he's a very good attacking midfielder, but I wouldn't put him on the wing. And I would have Jesus over whoever left out. Was it Bowen? Yeah.
Come on, let's just put Jesus in the bin. No, you're not having Jesus over any of them. I'm sorry, you're not being genuine. You're not. You're just not.
But listen, on current form, I'm going to go with you on the current, like over at that time when it was saying, look, Arsenal's front three have been not firing. They haven't been firing, but in the last two games, Martinelli and Saka come to the fore against Liverpool, and I'm sorry, in the game against Nottingham Forest, Jesus was outstanding. You know, so on their day, look, you know, I mean, it's not an argument. If everybody's on their game, I don't think there's an argument. But you cannot argue that on the form when you're going. When was this conversation? This conversation was a couple of weeks ago, or whenever
about 4 weeks ago. Was it 4 weeks?
Look, listen, Martinelli has been nowhere near at the level that he should have been, and I think you'd have to say that Saka's been at a level, but not at the level that we've been expecting and things like that. Like, you know, well, I have to say that, like, but I don't think that Saka's been absolutely outstanding in the last two games, but 2 goals in 2 games. And let's see where was these guys against Manchester United, like, you know, who are a far less team than Liverpool, like, you know. So listen, Bowen I think's a tremendous player. I really do like him, but he wouldn't get in Arsenal's team.
I think Kudus has a higher ceiling than Saka. I'm not putting Kudus over Saka right now. I think Saka's got the track record. I'm serious. And he will go further. I'm telling you. Right now, Saka has he's proven himself season after season in the Prem. But I'm telling you this now, right? Whether it's at West Ham or it's somewhere else. Kudus, in a few years' time.
How old is he? How old is he, Dan?
23.
23, yeah. So he's got time. He's got time.
Yeah. And give it a few years. I'm telling you, Kudus will overtake Saka.
Do you think Kudus and Saka at the age of 18 have had the same amount of seasons between 18 to 22 or 23, whatever he is? Do you think what Kudus has done, what Saka has done at Arsenal, Kudus could have done just as good at Arsenal at 18 to 22?
I mean, I think so. I don't know. Some players develop differently and at different paces. We don't know because obviously Kudus, came through a completely different system, different league, but he's got that raw natural talent.
By the way, I rate Kudus highly. I'm going to say that now. I think I wanted him, Lawless. I wanted Kudus at Arsenal, right?
Well, I think he's a good player.
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. But I don't see what he does. I don't see what he's better at than Saka. That's
the one thing I would say, and this is the one thing about young players. We were talking about this the other day. You don't know, and it has happened to young players at a certain time. They rise to a certain height, and then they don't go no further. You know what I mean? At the moment, like I think you would have said that about Foden for a year or so. I think Foden was like brilliant for a few, and then he sort of stayed there. Now he's gone on again. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I think. Saka's got to kick on again. Like, but the one thing I would say about kudos to Saka at this moment in time, I don't think he'll be doubling up on kudos on Sunday, like they will do against Saka, like most teams do against Saka. I don't think he's come up against that yet. Where Saka has, and I think that's why Saka's struggling a little bit. Not struggling, but finding it a little bit more tougher this time around because teams are doing their own work on him. Like when I see two players on Kudus and doing that, then I might say that. But at this moment in time, I think they're both fantastic players. But you know, I do think that Saka does get a little bit of disrespect. I do. I really do.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
I think it's only because of the pedestal you will put him on. I think we can all agree he's a very good player, but I think a lot of your fans, I'm not saying you particularly, act as if he's world class. And you know, how can anyone compare to Saka? Saka's the best in his position. We hear that so often, and I think other fans like to. Let's just dial that back a bit, you know.
That might be the case, and it probably is the case. But I still don't think it's right that people then just shit on him all the time because he hasn't even been great this year, Saka. But his numbers are better than Kudus. So, like, it's crazy that people just sit there and just go, "Oh, wow, Saka is all overrated when he weren't even that big a thing." Come on, man, this is a quality player, like top quality player. And Martinelli, likewise, I still think when everyone's fit, I have him on the left.
You and your Martinelli love.
He's the best left winger in the league, mate. When everyone's
you know
fit,
what? I bet you celebrated more of Martinelli scoring than you winning. I bet that was bigger deal for you. Martinelli scoring than Arsenal winning.
Love Martinelli, man. Come on, I love Saka as well, but the hate that he was.
I'm a lover of Martinelli as well. I have to say.
Yeah, come on. Listen, let's move because Lawless has basically agreed that he was talking a bit trash. Then is that what it is? Okay, we'll move. Okay. Paolo, let's come to you, man. Let's talk team news. Because there's a couple of options or opportunities for Arsenal. A couple of players out. Don't look like Partey's going to be around for a while again. Jesus, not sure that he's 100% fit. Doubts on Zinchenko. So really we're looking at the left-back position and the centre-forward position. And then obviously what we're going to be doing in midfield. Now, Tomiyasu has literally just come back from Japan. And I'm going to say this now, bruv. I'm putting him in the side if he's fit. Because if Zinchenko isn't, that means that left-hand side needs sorting out. And I'm not so sure, personally, that Kivior is going to do a job on Kudus. We've just been talking about how good he is, but I'd fancy my chances with Tomiyasu one-on-one with Kudus to keep him quieter than Kivior because I think he'll have a field day, man. So let's start with the left-back situation. What are you saying there, bro?
I think they will go with Kivior just given the way he finished the Liverpool match. And I actually thought his cameo off the bench was superb.
Yeah, he was good.
Because they didn't really ask him to do anything that's not part of his skill set. He was able to sort of sit back and defend, and he played simple passes. And I do think that's also because we had that box midfield, and we were able to load up the midfield with 4 and 5 at any given time with Jorginho and Rice. I think Arteta might have unlocked something there to allow Kivior to play a lot more of a comfortable role at left back. So I think they will go with Kivior first, just given his conditioning and the way he finished off the game against Liverpool. And if it's not working in the first 45 minutes, I think it'll be a case of Tomiyasu coming on in the second half to maybe shore things up. But I think they will go with Kivior just based on the way he finished off the Liverpool game. I was mighty impressed with how we played against Liverpool and how we dealt with the pressure. That was a high pressure scenario for us. 1-1. We probably should have been up at half time. Zinchenko comes off. This young fella comes on who, let's be honest, has never really, what's he really done? Jacob Kivior. He hasn't really done a hell of a lot, and he's come on and I thought he played a blinder when he came on. So I would prefer if Mikel Arteta went with the momentum of Jacob Kivior, and then if he wanted to change something up, maybe bring Tomiyasu on after half time if it wasn't working out and he wanted to change and switch some things tactically.
It's an interesting one, Lee, isn't it? Because I'm saying Tomiyasu, Paolo's saying Kivior. I actually agree with Paolo. I think Arteta will go with Kivior because Tomiyasu's literally just come back. But I think one-on-one, I've got more faith in Tommy, Lee.
Yeah. Just be fair, I don't know. When did Tommy come back? Like, I mean,
a few days ago, I think.
A few days ago. So, like, if he's 100% fit, he plays.
Yeah.
I think, because he's more of a natural left back than Kivior, even though I thought Kivior done very, very well in that game. But and I don't know how Shinchenko is. If I'm going to say it again, if Shinchenko's fit, then he starts. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So it depends on there. But listen, I've got no issues with Kivior if he plays that position that he did against Liverpool. Now, I'm going to be really honest. Against Liverpool, it's a little bit more open. You got there to defend. It's not going to be really the left back and wide players on Sunday are really not going to be there to attack and try and push and get something from the game. So I would look for the most attacking option in there, the one that's more comfortable in an attacking role more than a defensive role. And if I put them three up, Kivior is probably the third on the list. You know what I mean? But if for instance I'd maybe start Tommy if we're 1 or 2-0 up, then bring Kivior on to see the game out. But I think that those two fullback areas, Ben White and whoever it is on the left hand side, are key because when you're sitting in banks of four, as we all know, it's no secret that's what West Ham are going to do. I'll be very, very surprised if they don't. You're going to have to look to be little intricate little 1-2s in and around their box, and I think that maybe someone like Tomiyasu would be better for that.
Lawless, would you say who's the West Ham hold up player on? Say if West Ham's in that low block, is Kudos the guy who's got his back to goal, holding the ball up and waiting for his troopers to come forward? Is he the guy that plays that role predominantly for your guys?
Yeah, at the moment, obviously Antonio was our big player for that. That was his biggest strength. Yeah. But Kudos, to be fair to him, yeah, he can do that. He can hold up the ball and bide his time with a couple of players round him. So yeah, I think that's what he's going to be doing for us.
Yeah, so that's where I think I'm looking at Kivior's physicality. So if Kudos and those players out on Kivior's left-hand side do have their back to goal and they're producing that play for West Ham, I think Kivior's physicality and coming up to their back and holding them up like that, I think is going to bode well for Arsenal. And alternatively, if they try to go over the top, at least Kivior's got the height to be able to maybe deal with diagonals as well. So it's an interesting one for Arteta. He's going to have to make a decision either way. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Lawless, who would you rather could have come up against, Zinchenko, Kivior, or Tomiyasu?
Zinchenko. yeah, Zinchenko, easy. Like Kivior, obviously, he's still, jury's still out on him. Like you said, he seems to be improving, seems to be getting better. But like you said, if he's that height is an advantage, especially against if we are trying to play the balls over the top. But Zinchenko is a little bit of a liability defensively. So, but you say, or Tomiyasu though. Tomiyasu, yeah, if he's tired and jet lagged though, stick him in. Like if he's not going to be 100%, if he's 100%, then yeah, I would say
any of them. Then any of them. Then you don't care.
Not bothered.
I would say we're not bothered. Listen, if they're going up against Kudus, it don't matter. It don't matter. You'll have them on toast.
Okay, well, we'll see, man. We'll see how we go there. Judges, what are you doing in midfield? Are you keeping Jorginho and Rice in there with Ødegaard, or are you going to go to this kind of not left 8 thing with Havertz or Smith-Rowe? Because I'm keeping it the same, man. I don't want to be seeing it go back to that.
Yeah, I think the same. If all are fit and well, I will go that. The key decision is if Jesus is fit, who do you go up top, But for me, yeah, I think that I think that was our best performance in midfield, along with Man City. And it's no coincidence Jorginho was in both of those. But again, I'm going to say a little bit more of an open midfield. This game, I think that maybe if you're going to play that midfield, it might have to just change a little bit, where Rice is going to have to go into beyond the defence and get in behind. This is where it's going to be difficult, because I think Jorginho can find those pockets and find those players in those positions in there. So I would keep the same midfield, but where the balance of it was the two there, I would just slightly change it and play Jorginho at the base, because we're going to have to dictate from certain areas, and I think that he could do that. So I would keep the same midfield, but just slightly change it.
Interesting, man. Paolo, up top, you got Kai Havertz. Jesus might be out. Trossard, false 9, Eddie and Nketiah. If Jesus is out, what are you going with, bruv?
I think you have to start Kai up top, just because he's got he's got different weapons to his armory, doesn't he? He can play on the deck, he can play in the air, and I think you need those options to try and overcome the low block as well. So if we need to go and whip a ball in from out deep, he can sort of. I know his headering hasn't been great of late, but he did score against Brentford when they were sat back that time and scored the winner late there. So I think Kai Havertz does have to start up front, and I think someone in the chat mentioned Smith-Rowe to play in midfield just because of his driving runs. So they might go down that path, or they might. I get a feeling Smith-Rowe could be the type of player that could come in to this game as well. I think he could be the guy that they send in to start, just for a point of difference and to drive at West Ham's defence. And just I think in these scenarios with low block, you've got to create chaos. You can't be stagnant. You can't be slow. You've got to be pinging and zipping the ball around. And I think Smith-Rowe will provide that. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him start in an attacking role through midfield.
Listen, we've got some options now, man. It's crazy. I mean, for me going forward, I honestly believed over the last few weeks that Trossard should have been given more of a chance at false nine so we could have Saka and Martinelli either side. However, when he has been coming on from the bench, he's starting to impact the game and actually score goals and create stuff. So I can understand why he might want to continue doing that. The other thing with Kai Havertz is I think the confidence situation with him, when he's actually had a good game against Liverpool, I think it would be really harsh to actually go, right, you finally played all right, now we're going to drop you. So I think for me, if Jesus is fit, he'll play. If he's not, then I think it will be Kai Havertz. And if I'm honest with you, I think against a team that have probably got some physicality and some strength and some height like West Ham, maybe Kai Havertz would be okay. I'm not a huge lover of him, but if his performance is going to be similar to Liverpool at West Ham, I think it'll be okay. And I definitely don't want to see him in midfield anymore. Like, I can't deal with this left 8 position with Havertz. It just ain't working for me. So some of his attributes and his physical presence, I think will actually do us good. And up top is definitely when I want to see him in the final third. But Lee, I don't know what your thoughts are on that one.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to argue that. I think it's a difficult decision what to do there. I think Jesus will be fit. I think that's why I think he's keeping his powder dry a little bit. But it could be like, bringing him on with 20 minutes to go with a tiring defence, that could be something to go for there. But I've got this little feeling that, maybe we revert to Havertz in the midfield because we need that little bit more attacking, something different in midfield. I don't know. This is the problem you got. I know we played really, really well against Liverpool, but this is a different game. It's a different tactic. It's a different way of playing, And I know there's that old saying in football, and they never change a winning team and all things like that. But sometimes it's horses for courses, and you have to change it. Really, I wouldn't be surprised if Smith-Rowe's in there or Havertz in the midfield and Jesus up top. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think I'm going to go with what the guy said in the chat there. I got a feeling that if Jesus will be on the bench, even though he's fit, got another week off. I don't know. This is a tough game. I don't know if you could afford to leave Jesus out of this one, But I've got a feeling that if Jesus does play, I think Havertz might play in that midfield role down. I know you don't like that, but I think that they might go down that way.
I mean, West Ham would be rubbing their hands together if that's the case, because that is perfect for what West Ham would want. Havertz in that left 8. I mean, I don't know what you think, Lawless, but is that something that you would be happy to see, Havertz playing in midfield again?
Yeah, look, I don't rate Havertz at all. He usually finds a way to pop up with a goal against. That's what he did at Chelsea anyway, even though he was just crap. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did score. But yeah, listen, stick him anywhere. I don't rate him. I don't know why your fans... well, I know why. You don't want to admit you've wasted 50 million down the drain, as they say, or 60 million. How much was it? 60 million, 65 million. 65 doesn't really go in a song, does it? So you got to round it down. Yeah, it was.
Fair play, man. I'm with you. Let's move to West Ham, Lawless, because I don't know if Paqueta's in or out. I don't know what your team news is injury-wise, so fill me in, man. What's happening?
Well, I don't listen. Moyes is saying Paqueta's not ready yet, but you just don't know with these things. I'll only be sure when we see the lineup. I don't know whether it's Moyes' mind games. If he's not, that'll be a big blow because he's been a massive missing piece in that front three. You really feel it without him in the side, the lack of creativity, and it just affects the way we play as with our front three, the fluidity, the switching in and out, cutting inside outside. So yeah, if we don't have Paqueta, that's a gaping hole, because then what's Moyes going to do? He doesn't fancy Cornet. We saw what happened when he played Ward-Prowse on the left. It's that's going to be a big worry. So I'm hoping it is mind games. I need Paqueta. Antonio probably won't be back, but I'm just hoping Moyes is playing mind games, because having Paqueta back, Paqueta's like on social media, sharing all these training videos and like, yeah, I'm back soon, and like he sounds more optimistic than the manager has. So I don't know if Moyes is trying to curb expectations and Paqueta's hyping it, but if we can at least see him on the bench, that'll be huge, man. Because look, it goes to show with our front three missing, we take one piece out, we haven't won a game since. So them three together are the key ingredient.
What do you expect your 1 to 11 to be then? Talk me through it.
Oh, bloody hell, you put me on the spot there. At the moment, it's anyone's guess, because I think Areola should be back, even though he came off. Hopefully, Soufal will be fit. He's been quality this season. The back two, listen, we need to get Mavropanos back in there for another goal against his old club, if you ask me. So, yeah, I'd have Mavropanos and Aguerd. Zuma's, I don't know if he's fully fit. He's looking a little bit leggy to me. So, yeah, I'd love to see Mavropanos and
Hey,
Aguerd.
Bono was your best defender against us, real talk.
Yeah, and he's like 36. So maybe give him another cameo. But yeah, but I would expect Zuma and Aguerd, and then Emerson at left back, he's been quality. And in the midfield, I think Moyes probably realised he's rushed him in. He's playing him too early, so I don't expect Phillips to start. He's thrown him in a bit of a deep end, really. So yeah, I expect Ward-Prowse and Souček, and Alvarez to be in the midfield, and then it's going to be Kudus and Bowen and whoever's available on the left.
Cornet, is it? Yeah,
well, Cornet, Moyes won't play him. So the other alternative is to play Ben Johnson at left back and Emerson on the left wing. I would do that. If you don't fancy Cornet and Paqueta's not available, then play Johnson left back, Emerson left wing, because going forward,
that Johnson is trash, bruv. He is trash.
He's actually not, to be fair. He was trash for a while, but this season we see it. It's the out of contract syndrome. It's players when their contract's coming up, they play like crazy to either get a great big new contract at their current club or have another club offer them a contract. As soon as they sign the deal, they go to shit. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what happens. But this season, I've got to give him credit. Like, he's been poor last season, but Johnson, yeah, I think he deserves to play. He don't play over Soufal for me, but him on left back with Emerson left wing, yeah, I'm up for that. But Cornet, yeah, Moyes don't rate him for some reason at all.
Weird, because he did good at Burnley and he actually come into West Ham and looked like a bit of a spark and a flare. I just ain't seen anything from him, man. Moyes don't fancy.
No, he got that big mysterious injury and then he could never really get back into the team. Like, we saw him when he was playing, he was creating chances and getting assists and all sorts of things. But Moyes, you'll see him bring him on like with 2 minutes left to go in that. Like, so yeah, I can't see him just starting now. To me, it's got to either be Paqueta's fit, Paqueta goes left wing. If not, then Emerson left wing, Johnson left back. We ain't seeing no Creswell. But I just have to hope and pray that my guy Paqueta is fit, because we're going to need him for this game. If he's fit, I'm going to be very confident.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Paolo, where's this game one in terms of this game for you, mate? What position is it? One in midfield? Do you think it's up top? What are you saying going into this one, bro?
Up top for us, as it was in the last game. We just need to finish our chances. We're going to create opportunities. It's just about finishing the business and not coughing up stupid goals in the back four as well. So Mikel Arteta always says the game is won in the boxes. It's as simple as that. So I don't think anything mindset wise will change for Arsenal out of the Emirates game. It's just more along the lines of, lads, we know the way we're going to play. The way we play is how we've played all season. We want to dominate possession. We want to limit the opposition's chances, and we need to finish the business up front. I don't think it's real doom and gloom for what happened in that game at the Emirates. I know the result. We all look at the result and we all get frustrated and we think, oh, he needs to change this. He needs to get rid of Havertz from the midfield and he needs to put him up top and he needs to change everything. But I think it's just a case of up front, just finish the business. I don't think it's as as hard as people are making it out to be.
Mm.
To be honest, I think it's up top for me. Big
Yeah,
time.
man. Listen, we got to finish our dinner. That's for sure. With the chances you get, judges. One player we haven't mentioned yet, Declan Rice. Obviously,
Agent Declan. Call him by his full title.
If he don't celebrate tomorrow day, if he scores and don't celebrate, I'm going to kick him up the arse. I'll tell you that.
Why would he celebrate, Lee? The last 2 games,
I've been giving him stick. I hope he goes up there. I'll give it there. Like, I'm at a proper club now. Come on.
He's been playing shit against us on purpose because he still loves West Ham and he can't bring himself to put in a good performance against us. Agent Declan, he's never going to celebrate scoring.
Declan Derby, you guys call it now. The Agent Declan Derby. That's what this game's called to West Ham fans, man.
They're still worried about him. They're still worried about him.
Listen,
clearly we're still in his head. We're still in his head. You know what I mean?
Actually, like real talk, don't think he's been that great in the last couple of West Ham games. I know with the first one he came on, we were 3-0 down. I weren't expecting miracles.
No, you wasn't. You was 2-0 down. He came on. You conceded again, like within like.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Get it right.
It's all to do with Declan Rice's fault. You know, that's why we conceded. Declan Rice
was his worst game at the Emirates, though, Dan. He had a poor game at the Emirates.
Yeah, the Emirates, and then he gave away the penalty, didn't he? So,
yeah, and they was all giving it large, and I hope he's listening to that tonight. And when he comes to banging in the little couple of goals, if he don't celebrate old Declan, I'll be very, very disappointed. No,
I'd love him to score. It'd be hilarious.
I'd love him to score. I just play well. Just play well, like, you know. Listen, if he plays anything like he did against Liverpool, we'll be all right. He was absolutely outstanding against Liverpool, like, you know.
Yeah, he was.
Listen, I think that it adds that little bit of spice to it. This game, I don't care what anybody says now. As we were talking off air, as you know, as Dan was saying, he wish he had gone to another club, you know, a bigger club, as he says. Like, you know what I mean? And he'll be singing it again come the weekend because he loves that song. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that you know, that listen, he done fantastically well for West Ham, and I think that he left gracefully and done everything right. But he's a gooner now, and this is what, you know, that's what he has. I know that must hurt. He's a gooner. He's not an iron. He's not an iron. He's a gooner. Anyway, so I just think that it just spiced it up a little bit, and this one, I think, you know, just took the edge off it a little bit now because they've had the couple of games before. I think, like Dan said that earlier on, like, you know, when we was talking, I think now it's just, you know, like an Arsenal West Ham game now. Both need to win. And listen, I expect Declan to go there on Sunday and produce a performance because I think that would have hurt him, the stick he got. I think it would have hurt him, but I think he would understand
well. Some of the fans have been well out of order to him.
Yeah, I think you understand that. I think you can understand that. Like, you know, if he was
harmless banter. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. Listen,
some of it's over the top. Some of it's over the top.
Like what?
If he wasn't a great player for them, they wouldn't be bothered, would they? Like, you know what I mean? Let's be honest, you know. And I think that because
they're salty, they're
of course they are, and I get that. Like, you know what I mean? We've seen how bloody good he is, you know what I mean? Like, and West Ham have had a few good years of him, but he chose to leave West Ham to go to Arsenal. Of course, that's going to hurt West Ham fans. We've had it when other players have done it to us, you know what I mean? It's not very nice. So I get that. At least some of those players don't stay in the same bloody capital as us or the same city as us. He's you know, he's actually left one of our London rivals to go there. So I get all of that, like, you know what I mean. And but
can I just quickly say though one thing? And Lawless, this just you will definitely agree with this. Do you think? And I actually have heard this that like, Declan Rice is so good. He's been class for Arsenal, blah blah blah. But you think he's been basically doing nothing different than what he was doing at West Ham? That must hurt. If like no one was really appreciating it when he was doing it at West Ham, but then now all of a sudden appreciating it at Arsenal. I don't know if I made myself made sense there.
Yeah, no, it's again, and I had to argue with several fans season on season about how good he was, and people used to say, he's overrated, he's not this, he's not that. As soon as he goes to Arsenal, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Of course, it's just, you know what I mean. People don't really watch teams that ain't the Sky Six. Regularly, although I say Sky Six, you know, we're now part of the Big Six, as you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, what's that all about, bro? Talk on that, Chris. What is that all about?
West Ham are the 6th highest European coefficient in England. We've overtaken Spurs in
Do you
the
know what,
European
Lee?
pecking
I'll
order.
take that. I'll say fair play to you for that. That is fair play to you.
Well, they've won a
He's
trophy, haven't
overtaken-
they? They've won a
He's
trophy.
overtaking Spurs an achievement now, is it?
Yeah,
Mate,
well,
it's got to be.
yeah, well, listen, if there's this big six, right? If a big six exists and Spurs are part of this big six, and we have Sky Sports with a big show, and we have Turkish with a big six show, and this one's got a big six show, Spurs have to come out and West Ham come in. Because now in Europe, which I think we measure what a big club is by, you know, your European stature, West Ham are bigger than Spurs in Europe.
West Ham are big in Australia. West Ham is massive in Australia. Down here, there's plenty of Hammer fans here in Australia. One of my closest mates is a big.
We got some groups, Sydney Hammers, Melbourne Hammers. Yeah, we got some groups out there. So, you know what I mean?
There you go.
Top Spur, what's that?
Is it actually going to be such a good line? Is this the most anticipated Arsenal West Ham game we've had for a while? It feels that way, doesn't it?
I think the last ones. I think the first one in the cup, because that was the first time we were playing you since the whole transfer thing. That one was, and then the next one was the league game. That was the anticipation because it's like, okay, you lot downplayed it because we'll see you at the Emirates. Yeah, that was our B team. Wait till you come to the Emirates. Then that was like, okay, well, let's anticipate that. And then we came to the Emirates. So this is basically a consolation opportunity for you to get a consolation win to make it respectable. Because obviously, if you win, it will be 2-1 West Ham this season. You know what I mean? If we win, it will be 3-0. So unfortunately, it's a consolation.
And look, listen, we've been beating West Ham like left, right, and centre for many, many years, and never once have I gone, it's 2-0 to Arsenal or it's 3-0 Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like, you're a shameless man, Lawless. But I will say, I'm going to say this now. I went to that game at the end. I for the first time in a West Ham Arsenal game, there was hostility. I don't mean in a nasty way that you could like in and around the ground. There was an edge on it. Yes, that's probably the better word to use. There was an edge for that game, which I haven't noticed for a very, very long while with Arsenal and West Ham. So I do believe that there'll be an edge to this game also. And I think that if it wasn't for Declan Rice, I don't think there would be an edge on this game going into this game. West Ham was, you know, like going for Europa League, Arsenal going for a title. It would be a little normal circumstances of a game. But I do think that because of the Declan Rice scenario, there is an edge on this game. You know, I think there will be an edge every time that if West Ham were halfway down the table at this moment in time, they will always want to put one over Arsenal now because of Declan Rice. And I get that. And that's something that we're going to have to deal with. Like, you know, they always want to have something over Tottenham because it's Tottenham. There's the edge of that game. And there is an edge to the West Ham Tottenham game. There's no two ways about it. Whether West Ham are above Spurs or Spurs are above West Ham, there's an edge to that game. I don't think anybody can deny that. But I do believe that edge now is there with Arsenal and West Ham, what I haven't experienced for a very, very long while.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, I big up everybody in the chat and respect everyone, and I don't like to single anyone out. But I'm going to, Lawless, you've done it, mate. You've rattled a Spurs fan. You've managed to do it, mate. You've managed to. But you are getting love in the chat as well from Noel. Lawless, you're a legend. But mate, you managed to rattle a Spurs fan. Big up to everyone.
Oh, it's not hard. It's not hard to rattle a Spurs fan. Let's be honest. I'm sorry. It's just facts speak for themselves. You know, you're in with the rest. You're in with Brightons and
Palace.
You know, Brentfords and Palaces. Yeah, I'm sorry. The stats don't lie. Get your coefficient up, Spurs. Get back in Europe and try and win something, mate. That's all.
I love it how West Ham can now give it to Spurs, Lee. It's quite funny, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. And the song that they sung when they went to White Hart Lane was legendary. Like, you know what I mean? We'd be running around Tottenham with our European Cup. I think it's a fantastic song, like, you know what I mean? That, you know, singing "We've won a trophy," haven't you? I think, like, come on, it's magnificent, like, you know what I mean? Like, and fair play to the West Ham fans, like, for that.
They hate it. They absolutely hate it.
Absolutely.
And they went there and turned them over, like, you know what I mean? So
that was in glorious fashion, in the best possible ways. Tobes was livid. And I hope we do it again.
We was in the pub, Lee, watching it, weren't we?
Yes, we was on a Christmas do, weren't we? Yeah.
We were on our Christmas do, me and Julian watching it, and I was like, literally as we walked in the bar, Bowen scored, didn't he? We just went,
Yeah.
oh, it was unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, how you won that game, man.
And
It
a
was
fellow
good.
West Ham fan, because we didn't see the game, did we? But a fellow West Ham fan was in there, and he said, like, how we should have been spanked, like, but you know, like, and then all of a sudden they went 2-1 up, and like he said to us, stay.
Yeah, yeah. We went 2-1. He went, don't go anywhere. You're good luck. You.
Don't you move from here. I'll buy you a drink. Don't you move.
As soon as you mentioned Spurs and trophies, you could just see it cuts right to their core, right inside their soul. They just become insufferable. I'm starting to get now that there's the Aussie flavour with them. It is insufferable here, guys. Mate, there are people in the office here that I had no idea love world football, and all of a sudden, I go for Tottenham now. Oh, I love Ange. I love Tottenham. Mate,
Yeah, so the Aussie connection, isn't it?
Of course, mate.
Oh,
Of course.
God.
I love it.
I wonder if they'll flip when they eventually sack him. Like, I wonder if they'll switch.
Well, imagine. Something you can always guarantee on this channel is old Ronnie getting railed. And he's
Ronnie,
railed
good old
again.
Ronnie. I love Ronnie. I've only gone and ate my toffee. Look, I've ate it like that.
Big up Ronnie, man. It's all love. It's all love. Listen, before we do get some score predictions, football prizes have done it again, lead judges.
Yes.
And this one is, I mean, I must say, this one's class. Let's put it up.
You're going to go for this because I know that you're a big Ian Wright fan, aren't you? Like, you know what I mean?
My hero, mate. Favourite ever player.
So listen, Ian Wright's propped up now, like, you know, and a signed custom LED framed Arsenal shirt plus 14 instant prizes this time. And the instant prizes, get a load of this, are legends of the number 8. Martin Odegaard and Freddie Ljungberg, like, you know, I feel that's a bit of a thing, like our instant consolation prize. I don't know if that's a consolation, if I'll be honest, like, but for just $3.95, you can get this one of a kind piece of Arsenal memorabilia, a signed framed Arsenal home shirt of the one and only Ian Wright. Now, I've got mine over there, and I will tell you, it's, you know, pride of place over there, along with my Kevin Campbell one. So listen, I think at the end of the day, we decided to bring this one on today because, you know, he did have a very, very good season at West Ham as well, like, you know, and scored a few.
Not Ljungberg. You're not talking about Ljungberg, are you?
No, I'm not talking about free. We're talking about.
Well, they both did. To be fair, they both did go to Arsenal and West Ham. I didn't know Wright and
yeah, Wright had a good. Yeah, Wright. Yeah, because Ljungberg not so much.
Scored against Spurs. Remember that in the one? I think they won 1-0 that day or 2-1. I can't remember. Like you tell me, like, you know, he scored on the day and give it to the Spurs fans. But yeah, so there you go. A signed Ian Wright shirt, LED framed, plus 14 instant prizes. Only $3.95. So you put your $3.95 in there, and you got a chance of winning that. Like, you know, yeah, I'll tell you what, the old boys at the old football prizes, they do keep coming up with good ones. Ian Wright is another one, like, you know. So there you go. Get on it, guys. Get on it. It's well worth it. And listen,
absolutely.
I think at the end of the day, we can all agree, an absolute Arsenal legend.
Yeah, he is, man. One of my favourites, and I'll definitely be going in for that one because I'd love to win that one out of all of them, to be fair. There was Saka, there's Bergkamp, but even Saka and Bergkamp, I picked the righty one, man. 100% right. He was, I just love the guy, man. Absolute hero of mine, to be fair. Do you know what, Lawless? Let's stop, though, now. You don't have after Ljungberg. You're, like, put off now. Do you remember you used to have Winterburn, Davil Suker? You used to get all of our players. The Boa Morte.
Liam Brady, they had.
Yeah, Liam Brady.
Claude used to call West Ham a retirement home for Arsenal. He used to go and always used to give it about, oh, we're a retirement home. And now, look, now you're taking our cast off, say?
I love that. Absolutely love that.
That's class, man. Listen, let's wrap up with some predictions. Paolo, let's start with you, bro. What are you going for score prediction on Sunday?
Well, I'm not going to change from what Lee and I said earlier in the week. I think, and I've got a little prop here, I think we're going to cut them to ribbons.
Whoa.
We're going to cut them to ribbons. 2-0 to the Arsenal. I think it's going to be a flip on what the scoreline was at the Emirates last time we played.
Interesting, man. I've gone for a close one. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Arsenal. I do think it will be a close game. Judges, what are you saying?
I'm going 2-0, but I think it'd be a tough game. 1-0 for a while, and I think we'd be hanging on, and we might nick it towards the end. But listen, this is going to be a tough game, like, and I think I'm still a little bit of hoping that it's going to be like that, like, you know.
Absolutely. Lawless, any wild takes from you? Any crazy score predictions?
No, listen, I can't go with full confidence because of how we've been playing. It's definitely going to be a tough, nervy game. And I can see us going 2-0 up and just having a really nervy time holding on to it. But I think we'll hold on to the 2-1 and we will clip Arsenal's toenails or something. I don't know. I'm trying to do what Paolo was doing. That's all I had to have.
Hey, my scissors are bigger than yours, mate.
We're gonna hang them to dry, like that. Everything I've got, like that. Come, what you got, Foxy? Don't get your dick.
I haven't got anything, mate. I ain't got anything near me. I've got a mobile phone and a microphone. I don't know what more I can say about that, really. But there we go. Listen, sorry, Lawless. What did you say? Score prediction?
2-1.
2-1 to West Ham. Okay. Interesting, man. Interesting. Listen, it is going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to it. But of course, it's a horrible place to go. I can't say I'm not going to the game. I know you are, Lee. I'll be in the studio doing the watch along, so I hope we don't lose. Otherwise, I'm going to be clipped up and put on my show because that'll be fun. But you know, Lawless, you'll be. What are you doing? I guess you're going to it then.
I'll be there. I'll be at the game. Yep.
Okay, so you're doing fan cams afterwards, are you?
Fan cams after, reactions, all that stuff. Hopefully celebrating a Kudus hat-trick. That would be nice.
Wow. Optimistic, my friend. Optimistic. Listen, big up to both of you for coming on. First of all, Lawless, legend as always, supporting this channel and obviously my channel. Big up to yourself, man. What you got coming up? How can people follow you, mate?
Yeah, just at the Lawless on the Twitter and West Ham Fan TV. I'm going live at 8 p.m. talking about Moyes' future. That's being reported about Board being unsure on his future and all the other goings on. And we're talking more about the Arsenal game from a West Ham perspective. So 8 p.m. West Ham Fan TV live.
Nice one, man. Make sure you get over there, people. Paolo, absolute pleasure having you on again, my friend. It's been too long. Let's make sure we don't leave it this long next time. And when are you next down this neck of the woods, man?
I'm planning on getting there in May for the trophy
title celebrations.
That's the idea. That was the idea last season. It didn't quite eventuate, but hopefully we've all got a nice big grin on our face come towards the end of the season. Whether it's Premier League or Champions League, I'm happy either way.
Mate, you take one of them, wouldn't you? Absolutely. Take both we can. Lawless is just raising his eyebrows. He's like, that ain't happening.
Listen, like I said, bloody Rice won't win more at Arsenal than he won at West Ham. That's my prediction.
Wow. Well, we'll see what happens there, won't we? Big up. Make sure you go follow Paolo, and Paolo will be back very, very soon. And make sure you let us know in May. We'll definitely have a beer, mate, and catch up for sure. Judges, another one down. That means another weekend of football upcoming, mate. Are you looking forward to it?
Looking forward to it now, like, you know. So, listen, thanks for Paolo and Dan for coming on. Much appreciated. Good couple of guests there, and always good to see Paolo. Like, even though it's 5 o'clock, it must be nearly 6 o'clock in the morning now. Like.
It's just hit 6:06 a.m.
here. The old sun must be rising soon, like, you know.
We're kind of, our offices are located about 5 minutes away from the beach, so I'm gonna head over there and go for a run, and then go for a dip.
All right, the sun, isn't it? I
got to prepare for the game Monday morning, lads. 1 a.m. I've got to be up.
Go for a dip. I'm going to go for a hot bath. It's a joke, isn't it? Like, so there you go.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Like, even the Spurs fans, I hope you have a good weekend. Like, you know, as far as your lives are concerned. But
bullshit.
Come on, Brighton.
Listen, we're out of here, people. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Go and follow these guys. Head over to Football's 12th Man as well and support the channel. And we'll see you next time. Take it easy. We're out of here. Laters.